Welcome back, students. I hope that all of you are fine and healthy. And again, I'm repeating the same words or same things to you, that please stay inside your homes and please be safe and healthy. So all of you know that we are discussing the chapter or the story Wonderful Waste. We are continuing this one. And we are also discussing the textual grammar with this story or chapter. So I hope that all of you did reference to context 1 number and 2 number. So now it's the time to give you third number or number 3 reference to context. This time also you have to solve you have to write the answers by your own. I will only give you the questions from 3 number reference to context, so that you will write the answers by your own. So reference to context number 3. Everyone was eager to know the name of the new dish. Yes, everyone was eager to know the name of the new dish. Mention the source of the above quoted line. You may find that why ma'am in every reference to context ma'am is giving the same question in like the source of the above quoted line. You may think that, but students, it is very necessary, because in any reference to context you will get this type of question, just because reference to context mean you have to find out or you have to mention the source of that particular line, and you have to identify the name of the particular source. That source may be a poetry or a prose. Number B, why was everyone eager to know the name of the new dish? C, how did the cook prepare the new dish? Number D, when did the cook serve the new dish to the guests? Yes, B number question is a little bit tricky. I hope you can answer it using your brain. Just exercise or just give little bit efforts to answer the question number B, that why was everyone eager to know the name of the new dish. Now textual grammar. So here are your answers, students. Students, in previous videos or in the PDF files, I gave you one question, or I gave you to find out verbs, adverbs and adjectives from this story called Wonderful Waste. So the verbs from the story Wonderful Waste: ordered, commanded, entered, flashed, became, cleaned, entered, throw, put, washed, started, cut, added, or is, was, etc. I have written etc. because there may be more verbs in the story Wonderful Waste. You can also write those verbs in your copy. Now adverbs: sternly, suddenly, once, next, etc. According to the context of this story, or according to the lines once and next, these are the adverbs, and adjectives were huge, grand, these were the adjectives. Textual grammar. So we have already discussed nouns, pronouns, verbs, adverbs and adjectives. So the 3 things more we have to discuss: prepositions, conjunctions and interjections. Articles, determiners, all these things also we have previously discussed. I hope that all of you understand those things well, but still you are having any problem, any confusion, you can ask me without any hesitation. So the today's topic for the textual grammar is prepositions. Yes, preposition is such a topic that you have to learn very carefully, and it is the topic that you have previously learned in class 3 and class 4 also. So preposition. A preposition relates the object of the preposition, which is the noun or pronoun, following it to another word in the sentence. So if I need to define preposition in an easier way or in an easier language, so I can tell you that pre means before and position means a place. So in an easier language, what can be the definition of preposition? I'm telling you, just listen. A preposition is a word placed before a noun or a pronoun or a noun equivalent to show its relation to any other word of the sentence. Yes, a preposition is that word that is placed either before a noun or pronoun or a noun equivalent to show its relation to any other word of that sentence. So in a sentence, a preposition shows you the relation between with a noun or pronoun. Yes, the same thing is written in this picture also. A word or word phrase that shows a relationship between a noun or pronoun and other words in a sentence. Again, for your better understanding, I am going to illustrate the prepositions or the definition of preposition in an easier language. Listen to it very carefully. A preposition is a word placed before a noun or a pronoun or a noun equivalent to show its relation to any other word of the sentence. A preposition will tell you four things: where something is going, something or someone is going, that is location; where something is going or someone is going, direction; when something happens, time; the relationship between a noun or pronoun and another word in a sentence. So these are the four things that a preposition will inform you, and it is very important to learn about these things. So first of all, we will discuss about prepositions of time. Some prepositions show when something happens. They are called prepositions of time. For example, school starts at 9 o'clock. In this sentence, at will inform you. The preposition at will inform you when will the school start. That's why at is the preposition here. We are going to the zoo on Sunday. When we are going to the zoo on Saturday. On is the preposition here. No, you can't watch a video. It's past your bedtime already. I visited my grandparents during the summer. You must finish the work by Friday. I will do my homework before dinner. So before, by, during, past, on, at. All these prepositions show when something happens, and that's why these are called prepositions of time. We will learn about prepositions of time in detail also, and I will tell you how to use at, on and in. At, before specific time and holiday period. I get up at 7 o'clock. Please listen the examples carefully. The movie starts at 8:30. They sing carols at Christmas. Come and visit us at Thanksgiving. On, before days and dates. I will visit you on Wednesday. I will visit you on Wednesday. You will not say Wednesday. It's not Wednesday. I will visit you on Wednesday. Where were you on Friday? His birthday is on March 27th. The exam is on the 16th. In, before months and years. My birthday is in January. I am going on vacation in August. Shakespeare was born in 1564. That means 1564. The Titanic sank in 1920. In, decade and century. Life was difficult in 1940s. This way, we will learn. Preposition of place. Some prepositions show where something happens. They are called prepositions of place. So there are some prepositions that will inform you about where something happens, and that's why they are called prepositions of place. For example, Sunny was sitting under a tree. There is a wooden floor underneath the carpet. Some geese flew over their house. John and Sarah were hiding inside the wardrobe. There was a tree beside the river. I have a friend who lives in America. So, here the underlined words denote where something happens. That's why these are called prepositions of place, because all these underlined words denote a place. Like under denotes tree, underneath denotes carpet, over denotes house. That's why these are called prepositions of place. Now look at the pictures. The box is behind this cube. The ball is behind this box or this cube. Second number, the ball is in front of this cube or this box. The ball is just next to the cube or the box. The ball is between the boxes. The ball is near the box. Okay. The ball is above the box. The ball is below the box. and here the ball is in the box and the ball is kept on the box. This way I would like to illustrate preposition of place. You may find out or you may think, what is this? This may be a box or it can be any type of cube also. Now another thing for prepositions of place. In the box, on the box, the ball is under the box, the ball is just next to the box, the ball is between the boxes, the ball is among the boxes, the ball is in front of the boxes, the ball is behind the box, the ball is just at the door, the ball is near the box, the ball is below the box. So this way you can understand that here the prepositions in front of, under, below, these prepositions will denote a particular place or a specific place, and that's why these are called prepositions of place. So prepositions will show you the relationship between a noun and pronoun. So after prepositions of time and place, we will learn about prepositions of direction. Some prepositions show where something is going and they are called prepositions of direction. Yes, some prepositions will inform you about where something or someone is going, and that's why they are called prepositions of direction. The boys chased after each other. The football rolled down the hill. A man was walking his dog along the river bank. The freeway goes right through the city. We were traveling towards Miami. So these are some examples, and the words written in bold or the words underlined here, these are the prepositions. Now you will ask me, ma'am, why these are the prepositions? These are the prepositions here because here after, down, along, right, towards, these words denote where something or someone is going. Here are some more examples about prepositions of movement. Preposition of movement show movement from one place to another place. To, when we have to use to, used when there is a specific destination in mind. I am going to the doctor's. Are you going to the party? Towards, movement in the direction of something. He was walking towards me. He was walking towards me. He was sitting with his back towards me. Through, movement across something from one side of it to the other. The train went through the tunnel. He cut through the gauze. Across, movement from one end of something to the other. He walked across the road. There was a barricade across the road. Over, describe something's position when it is above something else. Helicopters dropped leaflets over the city. Here are some more examples of prepositions of movement. To, I took them to the beach. I would like to go to the cinema. From, she comes from Japan. I ran from home to the gym. Into, I walked quickly into the room. Out of, I saw them get out of a taxi. They ran out of the room. I was late and got on the first bus. Off, the cat jumped off the table. He fell off his bike and got hurt. They all went up the hill. He ran up the stairs. Down, I rode my bike down the mountain. We went down the stairs. Along, we walked quietly along the beach. I ran along a narrow path. Through, they drove through the tunnel. I ran through the trees. Across, Jessica swam across the river. I ran across the street. Towards. So, these are the examples for prepositions of direction and movement. This way, I hope that you have understand the prepositions of time, place, movement, directions, all these things. So you have to study these things very well at your home. You will get the same type of PDF file in your school website. So please download that one and please read about these prepositions very carefully. And after understanding this, you have to find out prepositions from the story Wonderful Waste. And I shall discuss the answers with you in the next video and PDF file. So I hope that all of you understand about prepositions very well. And after watching this video, if you are having any query, you can ask me without hesitation. And please download that PDF file from your school website so that you can learn, or you can see the pictures very carefully and very nicely, and you will understand and you will learn about each and every example very minutely and clearly. So now it's the time to tell you that students, please learn carefully, please study carefully, answer the questions, learn the grammar very carefully, because grammar is the thing that you have to use in your day-to-day life also and for your entire life also. So please learn English grammar very carefully, and also the literature. Please enjoy the literature chapters when you are reading it, whether it is the Ice Cream Man or the chapter Wonderful Waste. Please enjoy it while reading it. And please practice more reading at your home so that you will enhance your pronunciation capability. So for today, I'm going to end this video. Thank you very much to everyone. Thank you, students. Please stay safe at home.